Karoline Leavitt is quickly turning into a major challenge for mainstream media. Despite being new to the role, she's already showing she's a force to be reckoned with as Trump's press secretary, bringing sharp answers, steady confidence, and clear facts to every podium appearance. She's not just holding her own, she's taking apart media narratives with ease, often leaving seasoned reporters looking completely unprepared. Today, we're taking a closer look at some of her most jaw-dropping moments. Exchanges so direct and powerful that even long-time political correspondents were left speechless. You won't want to miss this breakdown, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop.
And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people, and that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room. I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out, while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
Just 10 minutes into her very first press briefing, Karoline made it crystal clear. She didn't come to Washington to play it safe. At just 27 years old, she's already made history as the youngest press secretary under Trump, and it's no surprise how she got here. Her strong communication skills during Trump's third campaign made her stand out. Karoline's roots go back to New Hampshire, where she studied communications and political science at St. Anselm College. After graduation, she joined Kayleigh McEnany's team, sharpening her skills behind the scenes before stepping into the spotlight herself. On top of that, she ran for Congress in 2022, winning the GOP nomination after taking down a more moderate opponent. She didn't win the general election, but it was a bold campaign that proved just how serious of a contender she really is.
As we're dealing with anti-DEI, anti-woke efforts, we understand this administration is thinking about celebrating Black History Month. Have you got any word on that? Anything that you can offer to us?
As far as I know, this White House certainly still intends to celebrate, and we will continue to celebrate American history and the contributions that all Americans, regardless of race, religion, or creed, have made to our great country, and America is back.
In just her first two briefings, reporters repeatedly hammered her with questions about DEI programs, treating it like it was the only issue worth asking about. But her response? It reminded many viewers of a powerful point made by Morgan Freeman, who once called Black History Month an insult, emphasizing instead that Black history is American history. That perspective is both timeless and increasingly relevant today. Karoline echoed that same kind of thinking, challenging cookie-cutter narratives and pushing back against oversimplified talking points. No matter how many times the press tried to trip her up with loaded phrasing or corner her with assumptions, she didn't blink. Her steady presence and clear answers showed she's fully equipped to take on even the most intense media pressure.
The president has made it very clear that this is a common sense solution to solving some of the problems that we have seen at the Federal Aviation Administration, and also when it comes to many of the federal agencies across our government. People should not be hired based on their disabilities, based on their skin color, their gender, their race. None of that matters. What matters to this president and this administration is how well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and merit. And so the president is focused on ensuring that the most competent individuals, the best and the brightest in this country, are in positions in this federal government, especially when it comes to public safety.
Now, I'm not diving into conspiracy theories about recent airplane incidents like some commentators might, but what Karoline said here, that was just common sense. And let's face it, for certain corners of the media, common sense often seems like a controversial statement. Instead of promoting personal responsibility and encouraging people to overcome obstacles, disability or not, they fall into this endless loop of victimhood. But here's the reality. If you're qualified for the job, you deserve the opportunity. Look at Stephen Hawking. Despite his physical challenges, he made some of the most groundbreaking contributions in theoretical physics and earned global respect. Yet questions about this issue kept surfacing over and over, until Karoline finally shut them down with clarity and finality.
That's unacceptable, and I think just to put a fine point on this, because this is the third or fourth question I've answered on this subject, When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense.
Absolutely. And can we talk about Joy Behar for a second? The irony is off the charts. Joy actually had the nerve to suggest that Karoline only got her position because she's a 10 in Trump's eyes. Honestly, if anyone said something like that about someone on the left, they'd be dragged through the mud. But because it's Karoline, suddenly it's fair game? Some may try to spin that as just a joke, but let's call it what it really is. Bitterness. Joy Behar can't match Karoline's sharpness or composure no matter how many segments she hosts. And yes, Karoline is poised, articulate, and yes, stunning too. Just look at how she handled herself on Good Morning America. She dismantled a loaded question from a reporter in seconds, with a kind of calm and clarity that most politicians could only hope to deliver.
We want people to return to work. We have beautiful federal office buildings here in Washington, D.C. that American taxpayers are paying for. They should be used. That's what the American people deserve.
But is there any concern that we risk losing people with years of experience like doctors and let's say scientists?
Well, most doctors who work in actual hospitals and medical institutions have to show up to the office. We know that employees are more productive and more efficient when they are working in an in-office environment, and that's what this administration expects, and I think that's what American taxpayers expect. Don't forget, it's the American people who are funding this government, and they deserve people who are actually showing up to work on their...
Watching a Karoline Leavitt press clip is like watching truth bombs go off in rapid succession. It's not just reporters feeling the heat. Her impact ripples far beyond the briefing room. And as she wrapped up her very first official press briefing, she didn't just thank the room and walk away. No, she landed a few well-placed remarks aimed squarely at President Biden. And let me tell you, it was electric. You could feel the shift in the room. The message was clear. There's a new tone, a new level of accountability, and it's being delivered without apology. This wasn't just a debut. It was a declaration.
It is a good question, April. So look, the president, as you know, is incredibly accessible. First day here, he wanted all of you in the Oval Office. You got a 60-minute press conference with the leader of the free world while he was simultaneously signing executive orders. I may add that's pretty impressive. I don't think the previous office holder would be able to pull such a thing off. So look, the president is the best spokesperson that this White House has, and I can assure you that you will be hearing from both him and me as much as possible.
Shots fired. And deservedly so. We're only a few days into Trump's return to office, but it already feels like we've lived through a year of political drama. The pace, the pressure, the non-stop momentum. It's next level. Craig Shirley, a seasoned political consultant who worked with George H.W. Bush, summed it up best. Politics, motion, and Donald Trump. It's a study in motion. And right now, Karoline Leavitt is standing right at the center of that storm, holding her ground with sharp precision and unshakable fire. But what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take. Got questions? Got strong opinions? Let's get the conversation going. And if you know someone who values honest reporting and independent thinking, share this video with them. Let's keep building a community that stands for clarity, truth, and fearless conversation. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next one.